Good day to you there, stranger. Could I interest you in any buttons? I happen to have a very nice selection here. Just a small sampling of my wares. Do you see anything that interests you? I have large buttons and small buttons. Something for everyone. What do you think? Shall I get you fitted for a button? All right. I'm just going to pull out my measuring tape here. Just unwind it. Perfect. Let me get some measurements for you and we can help determine if you need a large button, a small button, a variety of small buttons. Yes, I think you might look really nice in a few small buttons. Just going to first measure your face, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14. Under your chin here. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, good. Now across your nose from ear to ear. Okay, let's see, that's about 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, let's say 11. Good, and now the distance between your eyes here. Just going to place the 13 and the 12 right about equidistant from each other. Okay, now I'm going to measure your ear length along the side here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 4, and the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Okay, uneven ears, that's peculiar. But peculiar faces suit the best buttons, is what I always say. Now I'm just going to measure from the top of your forehead right down to the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. I'm going to get the bridge of your nose. Just 1, 2, 3, 1.5 here maybe. Good. And now if you could put out your arms, please. I'm just going to get it right up to your shoulder here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 15. This side, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 15 here as well. Good. And I'm just going to measure around you here. Just underneath you and around. Okay. Good. And now a height measurement. I'm just going to get your entire height here. 16, 17, okay. Wow, quite tall. All right. Very good. I'm getting some good ideas on what might suit you best. Let's see here. I'm just thinking about... Yes, if you could just... perfect, okay. Just going to get your torso length here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 17, okay. And I notice you have a little bag of buttons there. That's your bag of button collection, okay. Well, that's good. It's interesting that you're still looking to buy from a reputable enough vendor like myself, but I never turn down a customer. So tell me about your button vision. What do you think about when you imagine buttons? Okay. Oh, okay. You like unique buttons. Ah. All right, well, I think we can find something for you. I'm just going to simply ask you to actually hold this for me. Good. And I'm just going to take that little bag of buttons from you. I'm just going to go look through them. Since you said you had an affinity for rare buttons, I needed to inspect this particular bag of buttons, I have a special button checking bowl that I use. This button checking bowl will allow me to compare your buttons against just a standard variety of buttons, okay? Alright, yes, please be patient. I'm just going to start by pouring your buttons into my button bowl. Yes, I would appreciate your cooperation. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to pour these in. Perfect. I can already see a very wide array of buttons. Some very large buttons. Some very small buttons too. Some buttons that I've never seen before. I'm quite excited to go through your button collection. Alright, well here, I'll tell you what. If I find any buttons in here that I would like to keep, I'm just going to go ahead and keep them. Okay? This is how I normally acquire my button stock. I'm a little bit of a button criminal, you could say. Yes, me and the button boys are out here on the streets every day, prowling for the most premium buttons. And you looked like exactly the kind of button monger that I would hope to find a nice collection like this from. Don't worry, I will leave you with whatever buttons that don't pique my interest, okay? Yes, really, you should keep these buttons locked up. You never know when somebody might try to take them from you. Let's just go through them, you know. Maybe I won't be even interested in them. Yeah, alright. Do not try to call the button authorities, okay? You see my button boys there behind you? They're just here to make sure you stay nice and comfortable, okay? Alright. Just going to see like this. What is this, mustard colored button? You can have this one back. I'm not interested in such mundane buttons, okay? I'm more of a button connoisseur. Okay, let's just weed out some of the bad ones that I can see right off the bat. Honestly, I'm not even sure why you would bother to have these kinds of buttons in your collection. It's really weighing you down, okay? This is a prime example of a button that's weighing you down. You don't need buttons like this, okay? Yes, I know they look flashy in the window when you buy them, but as soon as you put them into your button bag, they depreciate immediately in value. So you can have this one back, don't worry. But I do see quite a few rare buttons. For example, you seem to be in possession of a rare wooden button here. Yes, it even seems to have some intricate designs here. Where did you find such a button? Ah, yes, button sales are an incredible place to find rare gems such as these. I'll go ahead and hang on to this one for now, alright? Good. Let's see what other kinds of buttons you have here. Ah, I see that you have pretty good taste. Some of these buttons are quite rare. Let's see here. Yes, I quite love myself a nice half and half button like this. It goes with everything, no matter what you wear. Dark colors, light colors, this button will match. I consider this button quite versatile. I like to have it in stock in case I meet a customer who doesn't quite fit light-colored buttons or doesn't quite fit dark-colored buttons. With this, they can have the best of both worlds. Yes, I do actually sell these buttons fairly legitimately. I have reasonable prices, too, I'll have you know. I may be a criminal, but I'm no villain, okay? Alright, let's see. You know, I have seen this button before. The size is nice. I do like the size, but I'll just let you keep this one, okay? One on the house. All right. I think I spot a glitter button. I quite like glitter buttons myself. I can feel like I never have too many glitter buttons. Do you see how it sparkles among the edges there? The glitter was infused with the button during its creation. I think I'll keep this button for myself, all right? And to even things out, you can have this plain button. Nothing to write home about, just your average everyday run-of-the-mill button. But I see that's not all you have in your collection. In fact, I believe that this may be the rare square button I've been searching for. It even has an amazing iridescent shine. Where did you find this button? On the beach. This button washed up. I can see some small bits of damage here on the back of the button, but no matter. As long as I can get someone to buy it just from looking at the front, I'm sure to make a good profit nonetheless. We'll go ahead and put that in my pile. Let's see. I feel like it's obvious, but I'm just going to go ahead and take this golden star button, okay? As you can tell, the golden buttons are some of my favorite. So, anything in here gold, just consider it mine already, okay? Good. Okay, this is an interesting one. This seems to be like a textured, almost like an alligator type of button. I'm not sure I'm quite in need of an alligator button at this time. So you can keep this nice rare one for yourself, okay? See, aren't I so generous? Yes, don't worry. I'm not completely unfair, okay? I'm just trying to expand my button collection, okay? Yes, you of all people should understand how vital a man's button collection is. Okay. Here is a rare button. This button has been hand carved. You can see the small detail work around the side. And if I'm not mistaken, the thread is still in this button. Yes, you can see it coming out the back here. Are you a button thief as well? Likely story. Don't worry, I'll just go ahead and take that off your hands. Let's see. A nice sparkly checkered button. This is a cute button, I'll give you that. But I don't need any more green buttons, okay? The glitter on this is quite nice, but these are sort of a dime a dozen these days, you know? Yeah. Well, no worries, you can have this one back then. I'm not really going to be able to make a profit on such a common button like that. I'm looking for something more rare. This round button here will do nicely. You can see the hole right here. This will make an excellent addition to my button collection. I haven't seen one like that in many years. Maybe you have some treasures in here after all. Let's find out, shall we? Here's a clear dot, okay. You're thinking that the size is going to make up for the lack of adornments on this button. It's just a standard 4-hole button. You can have this one. Oh, look. Your button collection is growing back already. Let's see here. This one catches my attention a little bit. I quite like the spiral pattern in the middle, followed by the edging here. I think I have a nice button project I could actually use this for. Yes, I'm working on assembling a rare museum of buttons. I think this one will have a place in the ancient buttons zone. Perfect. I'm starting to get excited the more buttons I find in here. Well, 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 would you look at that? A rare purple flower button. I tell you, I've been searching for this button for quite some time now. I'm sure it will make a lovely addition to my collection. I must say, thank you so much for doing all of the difficult legwork of gathering these buttons just to bring them to me. Another plain white button. I have definitely no need for this, so consider it yours. Yes, as you can see, I'm quite a generous button man. I could have simply taken your entire button collection, and there would have been nothing you could do about it. But here I am, sorting through your buttons, giving some back to you. Yes, I really appreciate the gratitude in your tone, okay? Just be sure to keep that feeling of gratitude, otherwise my button boys might have a little conversation with you, okay? And don't even worry about someone coming down Button Alley. Most people, obviously not you, but most people know that you shouldn't come down Button Alley unless you're looking for trouble. I'm already seeing several buttons that you can just go ahead and have, okay? Yes, I'm really not that mean of a button man. I just yearn for the buttons, you know. All right, let's see. Okay. You do have a few unique ones here. Like this one, for example. Almost reminds me of a tiger's eye gem in its coloration here. I think I could make use of this button. Certainly find someone who'd be willing to buy it for a good price. Alright, we're getting through many of the larger buttons now. This one's quite unique, as you can see. I'm sure you know. This is the Glitter X Marks the Spot button. A highly sought out button among my pirate customers, so I'll just be keeping that one for now. Let's see. Did you have any sentimental buttons in here that you especially wanted to hold on to? Oh, you do? Well, don't reach out. Just describe the button to me and I will pull it out of my button bowl. Oh, okay. It belonged to your grandmother, you say? All right. Well, I'm not one to part a family member from their family heirlooms, so I'll go ahead and find that for you and return it. Let's see. Okay. You said it was a metal button? Well, if I happen upon it, I'll be sure to set it aside, but I'm not seeing it right off the bat. What about this yellow button? If you look very closely, there is a slight bit of inscription along the edges of this button. You are not aware of what these inscriptions mean. Well, since I am taking this button anyway, I will let you know. This button happens to be a map, okay? Simply all you must do is sew it onto a shirt of your choice, and you should be able to read the button inscriptions. Only once the button believes it is home safe and protected by an owner will it reveal its button treasures. A very good one for my collection. I don't think I'll even sell it. I might use it for myself. Can never have too many button treasures. Now here's a nice one. Crystal clear, but it has this nice flower shape to it. I don't love the back. I think these bulkier backs leave a little bit to be desired from modern button shapes, but I'll go ahead and take this from you anyway. Okay. You have quite a few buttons. How long have you been collecting these buttons for? since you were a child? Incredible. Well, how lucky am I that I get this lifelong experience of buttons in the palm of my hand. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you could have a button like this. It looks a bit like a flat sun hat. I have no need for buttons like that. Let's see what else you've got. Ah, yes, an old favorite of mine, the peppermint button. Yes, I have come through many of these peppermint buttons in my time, and I'm not too sentimentally attached to them, so I'll go ahead and give that one to you too, okay? Yes, very, very good. And I'm seeing another blue button here. Looks vaguely like a sun hat as well in its nature, with the kind of cumbersome bottom that I so disdain. I'll go ahead and let you keep some of those types of buttons, okay? Yes, but this button, for example, is one that I'm very interested in keeping. This yellow, glossy, shining button. This button captures the sun. When the sun's out, if you catch it just right, you can start a fire. I heard a button legend that a whole city was burnt to the ground over a single sun button just like that. You didn't know it was called a sun button? My dear friend, how could you have such an extensive, nay, glorious button collection, but be so ignorant of button lore? Well, that's why you're lucky that I'm taking some of these buttons, honestly. Button like this, perfect for a commoner like you. But a button like this, a cheese button, I'll be taking that. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Another wooden button. This one appears to be made out of coconut shell, perhaps. It's a very rare type of button material. I think I'll need to keep this in my collection to study for science, button science, you know. Okay, let's see. This is a very lovely button. It has embedded inside of it this beautiful chain. I absolutely love the shape and the color too. This must be added to my collection, absolutely. Let's see, another button for you. You can have this translucent button. I have many translucent buttons. It's really nothing too special. Alright. This is a very cute button. I like the different tones of pink here. Even though it is sort of just a 4-hole button. I don't know. What do you think? Well, of course you would want it back. I think I'll keep it, actually. Yes, I have a customer who very much loves pink buttons, and I think I already have a sale made if I take that one off your hands. Okay, let's see here. Here's a nice button that you can keep. It's not entirely plain, but it's nothing special either. It's perfect for a basic button collector like yourself. Now this is the type of rare button that I'm looking for. So you can see it's been meticulously carved to create these beautiful, intricate flower patterns. Yes, and the back is perfectly balanced. This is the type of button that I could only dream about. Thank you, dear stranger, for bringing these lovely buttons into my life. Let's see here. You do have some smaller buttons too. I don't want to forget those. Cute little clear buttons, just like this one. Perfect for you. But some of these rarer buttons, this jewel button, for example, this is the type of button that I will be keeping. Okay, let's see here. Boring, boring, boring. Ah, here is a nice blue button. Half transparent, half opaque. Quite a fascinating specimen of a button. I can't wait to find someone to sell this to. Multicolored buttons like that just sell so much better. They evoke emotion in my customers. What's that? No, I don't steal from all of my customers. Just the especially vulnerable looking ones. Ah, here's a sad little apple button for you. I don't like buttons with faces, personally. Yes, I have heard of the great face button collector, but he has his thing and I have mine. Ah, this cute pink zigzag button with some sparkles on it. That is quite the multi-dimensional button, and I absolutely love the threading here on the back. Perfect for a jacket. Ah, and I see that you have even a smaller version here. I'll go ahead and let you keep the smaller version, as its size makes its worth significantly less. Okay, Yep, here's another button with a face. Just make sure you don't bring this button bag around the face button man. He'll take these last few face buttons from you as well. Okay, we're getting through, making some progress here. I told you it wouldn't take that long. I appreciate your patience while I peruse through your button selection. Okay, let's see. What is this abomination of a button? Have you gone and glued these buttons together? They seem absolutely stuck together. I'm just going to let you have those buttons, okay? People that glue buttons together, they hurt me, you know? They ruin buttons, perfectly good buttons. That's the reason why I'm out here rescuing buttons, okay? Rescuing buttons from people who would glue them. This one is just so sad and plain. I'm going to go give it back to you. Yes, I'm really only looking for the best of the best buttons, okay? You understand, of course, naturally. Alright. This button has an interesting matte texture here. I like the sound that it makes, but this color, what were they thinking when they made this button? You can just keep that, okay? Beige buttons, cream buttons. I need colorful buttons. Some of my clients prefer the more neutral toned buttons, but I find my best clientele, they know what a good button looks like. Okay. Same thing here. It's got this nice shimmery outside, but this mustardy, brown, yellow color. It's like a tarnished gold, and I'm sure you can guess how I feel about tarnished gold. Yes, I prefer my gold shiny. Absolutely, darling. This is an interesting textured button. Where did you find this button? It appears to have some type of material embedded within. This button was a birthday gift? All right, well, now it's my birthday gift. Happy birthday to me. All right. I found that metal button that you were talking about. This is that heirloom button that you were hoping to find, right? Well, it's a good thing it isn't more shiny, because I would have to take that from you, but since it is an heirloom and all, I'll go ahead and let you keep it. All right, excellent. We're progressing along very nicely. We seem to have just a few buttons remaining here. I'll go ahead and keep this sparkly button. I'll go ahead and keep this sparkly button as well. It only only has a modest amount of sparkling around the edges, but I think it has some potential, actually. No, that is more of an orange color. I can understand a plebe like you not knowing the difference between a mustard yellow and a mustard orange, but I assure you they're quite different. All right. This bear button can be yours. I have no need for such childish buttons, of course. My clientele is very sophisticated. I like the size of this translucent button, but like I said, I have too many translucent buttons as it is. Okay, aha. Here we go. This is a unique button indeed. It's made out of, looks like some kind of shell, and it's not even centered. You can see that the buttons are not equidistant from the edges. This button was handcrafted. This button is going to make me a fortune. I was surprised you hadn't sold it already. You could have been a very rich person. Okay, let's see. Nice little ruby button. I'll go ahead and take that. Nice little gemstone button. You can imagine I'm taking that. Here's a good button for you. You seem to like some of these more basic buttons. Otherwise, why would you have so many in your collection? Ah, yes. This button. I've been looking for this button for a long, long time. The button of truth. I'm going to hang on to that and keep it in a special place in my jacket. Okay. Star button, mine, easy. Let's see. This little toadstool button. I wish that the top had a little bit more color to it, so I'll just give it back to you. What's the harm? And the strawberry button. At least the shading is correct, but it's just too childish for me. I'm more interested in a button like this. This is my type of button right here. It's got the nice dome shape with a perfectly balanced bottom. You could spin this button like a top if you wanted to. Okay. Cute colored button here. It's cute, it's unique, but it's nothing special. Might as well leave you a few rare ones. Don't want you to have too many hurt feelings about your significantly reduced button collection. Yes, you can even have this one here. I have one that's in an orange color, a superior color in my opinion. Ah, now here is a unique button. This button seems to have not two, not four, but two very long buttonholes. This is quite the unique button, and I can't believe it's in this horrible color. Why on earth would somebody go through the effort of creating such an extraordinary shape of the button only to make it this horrible color? I'm so on the fence. Do I want this button? I'll go ahead and take this button. Perhaps I could repaint it, so to speak. Give it a little bit more value. Okay. A nice cute flower button. I love a flower button myself. I don't know how you feel about them. They're your favorite kind of button, and I've taken 2 of them already. Well, I'm glad that you like flower buttons so much, because I just found a very nice supply of flower buttons. Funny how the world works like that, isn't it? But you can keep a button like this. It's nothing to write home about. I've seen a million buttons like that in my life. Okay, let's see. Special button, special button. Ah, this seems to be a unique specimen here. This pretty rose button here. I'll go ahead and take that flower button from you. But don't worry, you can have this silly little star button. I don't need such a boring basic button like that. Here's a nice one. Have you tried reading the inscription on this one? You have not? Well, I'm going to have to take it then because you clearly don't understand what it means to be a button master. You must be able to read the buttons, to hear the buttons, to speak to the buttons. Yes, that's what sets me apart from other button men. I have that special button ability. Here's an example of a pink button I'd be willing to let you keep. The very center has the slightest bit of glimmers, but not enough to impress such an extraordinary button collector as myself. Green and yellow. I like this one a lot more than the orange and black button. I'll go ahead and keep this one for myself, and you can enjoy that orange and black button for you, okay? Good. I quite like this button. On first glance, you'd think, just another common button, but this button seems to be made of a special material. You hear that noise? That tells me that this button is made from petrified wood. Can you see the texture now? The extraordinary physique of this button? A masterful button indeed. I'm surprised a low-grade button collector like you would have such a unique item. Just goes to show that looks can be deceiving. This is an interesting button here. Do you happen to know where you procured it? It seems to have just a little bit of inscription right around the center, but I can't quite make out what it means. Let me listen to the button. I'll keep this button. No, I'm not going to tell you what the button said. When buttons speak to you, they speak to you with the utmost confidence that you will never utter a word to anyone else. Button secrets are the best secrets, as my father always said. Here's another example of a button that I would pay a high price if I was buying these legally from you. I would trade about 10 other buttons for this, so quite a nice deal for me today. Okay, little cupcake button, that's all yours. Little round donut button, I'll let you have that. Another 4-hole white button, who needs it? A flower button. It's cute, but perhaps too cute for the button man. I'll leave you this flower for yourself. This is the kind of button that a man searches his whole life for without finding. You see the special iridescence in this button? This button is perfect. I might keep it for my own private button collection. Not even reselling this button could do it justice. Amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm highly impressed by your button collecting skills. Okay, this purple plaid button. It's unique. I'll keep it just in case. Sometimes when somebody wants a color like purple that's very difficult to find, it's best just to have a few on hand, even if they're not the most high quality buttons. Yep. See, this is an example of a translucent button that I will take. You can see that not only is it translucent, but it's actually reflective and iridescent as well. And it's a flower, so even better for me. Getting towards the end here. This is a very nice inscripted button here. You can see the nice flowers there. Just perfectly modeled onto the button. This button is a work of art, absolutely precious. Don't worry, I'll find some buttons for you, like this plain, boring black button, and this, I don't even know what to call this, corduroy button. That's not for me. Nor is this plain yellow button, as you know already. This button does say boss, and I am the button boss, but I don't really need a button to let me know that I'm the button boss. It's just one of those things that you inherently feel. Okay. Seem to have another gemstone button here, but the tarnish on this button, I don't even think a master like myself could save this, so please feel free to take it back, alright? And I think same goes for this button here. There's just no way I could bring back its true sparkle again. So it's better with someone like you who doesn't need those finer things in a button to be happy. Yes, I can tell a lot about someone by their button collection. For example, the fact that you have so many translucent buttons probably means you're a very transparent person. You can't hide a secret from your friends, even if your life depended on it. Yes, I know how to read the buttons. You see this clear button? It's clear as a window pane, just like you. So it's perfect for you. Same with this translucent red button. I'm a very mysterious man, and so I don't deal often with plain translucent buttons such as these. Your button supply is almost half full. I think you should be quite happy with this arrangement. Like I said, I could have just stolen your entire button bag and you would have been unable to stop me. So for these last few tiny buttons, I really need to use a close, critical eye to assess their value. See this one, for example, I might have passed it by, but these intricate details along the edges here, that's the kind of button that intrigues me. It's the kind of button that keeps me up at night, keeps me yearning for that next button. Another button with some cloth in it. You sure you didn't steal this button off of someone's shirt? It sure looks like it from this little thread hanging on there. I'll just go ahead and take it from you. How about that? Yeah, that way whoever you took it from, they'll know that it's gone to a good home. Alright, let's see. Another boring button that you can have. And another boring brown button that you can have. Good. We're getting through these now. I like the detail work on this blue button. And blue is a little bit of a rarer color. I see you actually have two of these blue buttons here. I'll tell you what. You keep one, I keep one. We both walk away happier. That sounds good? Alright. I'm glad you're coming around to the situation. Most people are a little bit more resistant, but the situation with you is much different. You seem very happy to be receiving back only your most boring buttons. Were you secretly hoping that someone would come and take your buttons today? Is that why you were wearing them in such an obvious location? But you really were hiding little button marvels like this, spiraling inward and inward and inward. One could get lost in the spirals of a button. Yes, I once heard a story of a man who went mad after staring into the depths of a spiral button. This button's cute, but not for the button man. Let's see, what other buttons? Aha! This is a nice button. It needs a little bit of a cleaning, but as you can see, those details are just perfect, totally immaculate. I've never gazed upon a button quite so intricate. Thank you so much, stranger, for bringing me these very rare and unique buttons. And you're welcome for giving you half your buttons back. Of course. Here's another little button that you can keep. I'll even let you keep this not gold but almost gold button here. How very generous of me, isn't it? Okay. We've got this nice Cartman button here. You can see his hat, shirt, and then blue pants down there at the bottom. I think I'll go ahead and keep this button, actually. Just a few more to go now. Not much time at all. I'm sure you're getting a little bit antsy. Go ahead and take this button. It is yellow, you're right, but the shape to it, the flow to it, the absolute magnitude of its power. I simply must own this button. And don't worry, there's still a few for you. You can have this shiny white button. You can have this more plain white button here. Yes, she's cute, but I just have no need for these simple basic buttons. My button collection could be tarnished, you know. One bad button spoils the bunch, as they say. Here's another example of your translucent button obsession. Yes, you seem to have quite a few of these translucent buttons. You even have a pink translucent button here. I can hardly see this button. Why on earth would you procure such a visibly insignificant button? The transparency. Well, that makes sense then why you would need to buy two of those exact same pink transparent buttons. I'm glad I'm returning some of these buttons to you. Okay, now only 10 buttons remain. Shouldn't take much time at all for me to go through these. Here's another pink, semi-translucent, semi-holographic. I have no need. I have already supplied up my pink button fascination, and I think my customer that enjoys the pink buttons will only want to buy one or two anyway. This is quite a unique button. What do you call it? You don't name your buttons? Well, I'll go ahead and take this off your hands then. I think I will call it Angel in a Button. That's a good name for it. I think I'll go ahead and return this classic button to you. I have no need for it. Same thing here with this cute tiny little bow tie. The silly buttons, buttons should be elegant. They should be extraordinary. These foolish buttons that are made really for children. My eye for button collecting goes far beyond just the shape and colors. I need to look deep into the button to feel its essence, so to speak. For example, with this sparkly button. This is exactly the type of button that immediately calls to me. Here with this gold button as well. This is the type of button that I would even sew onto my own jacket. I do like this one. It's got the outline of the gold, but the clear transparency, I'll just let you keep it. What's the harm, really? You've already given me so many extraordinary buttons. I could never pay you back. I'll go ahead and take this little black button, though. There's something amazing about its texture and its depth and quality. Just a simple brown button. The perfect last button to go into your button bag. As for this last button, I'll go ahead and take it. As you can see, the edging is quite unique. I've never seen a button before where the edging held the majority of the color. Well, my button bowl is empty now. I'll go ahead and return some of these buttons to you. Safe and sound, totally unharmed. Okay, here you are. All right, well, my button boys will scoot to the side so you can back on out of this alley, okay? And just be careful, okay? Button thieves out here today, they have all of these special tactics. They might lure you in with the promise of button sales only to snatch away your most precious buttons. Never trust anybody. It is a button eat button world after all. All right, well, it was nice doing business with you. I'll see you again soon, I hope. Okay then, goodbye.